In the last video, we have seen how to do migrations and we have migrated tables into the Supabase. Okay, so we have migrated all these tables, that is post, transactions, and users. Now in this video, we will see how to create database seeding. So using Prisma ORM, so we will populate the tables using the seeding using Prisma ORM. So let's get started. And first, what we will do is we will go to the Next.js Prisma documentation website, and you can see that they have given us instructions what to do here. So I'm going to start with the seeding of the database. Okay, so what I will do is I will copy this code and I will follow this instruction. So let's create a seed.ts file into our directory. So before that, I'm going to install a Prisma extension in my VS Code. So the syntax looks proper. So once I install it, and if I go to my schema Prisma, you can see now it looks better. All the models. Okay, so now what we will do is we will follow this instruction. So it is telling me in Prisma create seed.ts file. So I'm going to create a new file that is seed.ts. Okay, and I'm going to copy this code and I will get this issue because this is not my path. So I will copy the path where so I have this is my path. So I will copy this path. So I will copy this path and I will go to my seed.ts file and change this path. Okay. Okay, I'll remove this. Okay, so we do not want this. So let's populate the transactions table. So let's populate the transaction. So let's do seeding for the transactions table for now. So now what I will do is I will use my AI tool, that is open code, and then I will open this. So you can also use Codex or GitHub Copilot. So I'm just going to create a file for this seeder array. So now what I'm going to say is I want seeding for transactions table and model. Okay, so now because it is called model in the Prisma, so I'm going to give it the two files, that is schema, and then I'm going to give it the file that is seed.ts file. So I want a seeding for transaction models in seed.ts file. Okay, so this will run and this should generate me seeding for the transactions. Okay, you can see that the seeding is now done. The file has been created, and let's run the seeds. So for that, now let's look at the next steps. What is to be done? So once we create this, we need to add this path over here in our prisma.config.ts file. So we can go to the prisma.config.ts file and we can add this. Okay, and once we add this, what we need to do next is we need to run the command. So let's go to the project directory. Okay, now let's open the terminal, that is my git bash, and what I will do is I will run the command to install to do the seeding. So we run this command and let's see if the seeding happens now. So this will take some time and you can see that the seeding is complete. Now what we will do is we will go to we will use this command Prisma Studio. Okay, so we can use this command. Okay, and once we run this, Prisma Studio will be opened. Okay, and we can see if we go, we can see our tables over here. If we go to our transactions and we can see all the transaction data that has been loaded over here. Okay, so now what we will do is we will also check it in the Supabase. So if we go to the Supabase here and if you see here that the transactions have been already loaded. Okay, next step what we will do is we will see what we can do next is so we have already set the Prisma client in the previous video. So let's copy this code over here and we need to create prisma.ts file now into our directory. That is, let's go to this directory and create a new file that is prisma.ts. Okay, and let's copy paste this code and again we need to change this path. So let's go to seed.ts file and copy this. So let's see where it is set to put this. No, we have to put this file in the lib. So let's delete this from here. Okay, and we need to put this into the lib directory. So where is the lib directory? So let's create a new file that is prisma.ts. Okay, and here we need to copy this code back again. So I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to paste this code over here and I'm going to change this path now. Similar way I did it for the seed.ts file. So I'm going to copy this path from here and I'm going to change this. Okay, so I'm going to change this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to the documentation and let's copy this. Okay, and in our transactions table what we will do is we will go to our page that is transactions. Then we will go to page.tsx and we can see that the dummy data is there here. So what I will do is I will remove this data for now. I will see what is here first. Okay, so this is import. Then we will copy this line over here. Okay, and then we will use this over here. Okay, and this will be transactions. Okay, and then this will be transactions. Okay, then so let's remove this and we need to use async function. So we need to use async function over here. Let's close this. So this opened over here. So let's use async here. Okay, and let's remove all this code. We do not need this code. So let's remove this code. Okay, so we are getting the transactions now. And now what we will do is so we have already got the transactions here. So let's populate all the transactions that we have loaded. Okay, so let's populate them. So what I will do is in the terminal, I will tell it to populate the transactions. So so I will say in my page that is the transaction page.tsx file. Populate the transactions. Okay, populate the transactions. Uh, Populate the transactions in the table, and delete dummy records. Okay, and you can check the schema model in. We can also give it the schema Prisma file. So, okay, so this it will read this data now from both the files, and we should have the transactions that will be listed. Okay, so this will take some time and it will fix it. You can see now that the transactions have been listed in this. And now if we go to our Next.js application, so let's run the application. I think I'm not running this application, so I will run this. So I will go to git bash and npm run dev. pm run dev. So this will start my server. So we have transactions into the Supabase, and we have ran our server. And let's go to localhost 3000 now. Okay, this will load our Next.js application. And if I click on all transactions now, and you can see that all our transactions have been listed now. Okay, this same transaction from the Supabase. So we can see that these transactions are listed over here now, and with the help of AI and with the help of our Prisma ORM and creating the seeding, we have listed the transactions. So in the next video, I will show you how to maybe insert, update, and delete the transactions using Prisma. So we have connected to Prisma ORM, we have done the DB seeding, and we have populated the database, and we have listed the records into our transactions page. So if you have any queries, please do comment and I will answer them.